And welcome to the 2023 Certification Challenge Kickoff. I am very excited to be with you all here today, and we're gonna get this thing started. I don't know. This is something I always look forward to every year, because ultimately this is our opportunity to work together and achieve some great things. This is our third year. I think it's our third year. Maybe it's our fourth, but I think it's our third here. And I see great results every year. And so it just motivates me to keep doing this every single year because I know that more great results will come out of this. I see people already showing up. I tried something different this time, and I did that little silly countdown timer just to make sure that people were in. And we're gonna start this right off at 10 o'clock here, my time. But I know it's all over the world for you all your time. So good morning. So I see Teamer here, Repertoires. Again, I'm American, so I have a horrible time pronouncing people's names. That's not a good thing, but oh well. Laya Cat, Chris, good to see you. Ben, I can pronounce those names. AJ, another one, good for me. I can do that. Repertoires, 6 o'clock where you are. Great. Well, that would be what, 8-hour difference. So that means you're probably in Eastern Europe. Is that correct? Rementhon, Kailash, good to see you all. Sanchit, Vashwanath, very good to see you all here. I am very excited. John Hughes, hey, welcome, my friend. Nicholas Faison, everybody's popping in here. I am excited to see this. Lithuania, what a wonderful country, and I have yet to. I wanted to get over and to see some of those places in Europe. I've been to Europe, Netherlands, and the United Kingdom, but there's way more of Europe to see than just those two places. Beautiful places, by the way, as it is. Tyler, Humberto, Ravi, welcome in. Come on in, everybody. This is hey, Chris. Good to see you. Chris is kind of I'm just gonna give Chris a quick shout out. He is a real go-getter. He just recently got the GraphQL certificate from SwiftOtter. I know because I personally gave it to him. And he's done a lot of work. Business practitioner, and I think there's been a couple other certifications as well. Dependra, good. Hey, Chris, good to see you. So yeah, I am excited to see everybody in here. This is going to be a great next few weeks, and we're going to talk about. Hey, Jignesh, we're going to talk about what all this means here in this coming half an hour. But this is going to be a wonderful next few weeks. So. First question I do like to ask is, have you had your morning coffee? As a fan of The Grinch myself, if you have not watched that movie, it's a great watch, the animated version. The other non-animated is fine too, but the animated is fantastic. It's on point. But coffee is a definite part of that. And as for a non-coffee drinker myself, I've not had my coffee this morning, and I feel just a slightly bit draggy, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is sometimes. Anyways, actually, what I always like to do in this is, why don't you just drop in where you're from and how you are doing today? Again, like I said, I'm doing great. Slight bit draggy. Got this little tiredness around me here today. But I'd love to hear where you are coming from, where you are typing your comments in from, as well as how you are doing today. Jazz, good to see you here. Come on in, Vladimir. I have some wonderful people here today. While you guys are all responding, I know there's just a little bit of a delay here. I would like to pop up here on the screen the link to the 2023 Certification Challenge sign up. Yes, it does take a bit of a sign up, but this allows us to get you in the list. We're going to send out reminder emails, that sort of thing. No spam, I promise you. If you think I'm spamming you, send me a personal email. You see who I am on this. I'm not a spammer. So send me an email, I'll take you off the list, whatever. But this allows us to be able to help see who entered the certification challenge. And then, of course, I want to see then those scores coming back in. So it allows us to be able to formalize our relationship, keep in contact, etc. So this is why I asked for this. So SwiftOtter.com/2023 certification challenge. You might notice that this is our new website. which is powered by Vue Storefront with Magento on the back end. I'm pretty excited about this. It's not necessarily been the smoothest ride ever, but it's been a good learning opportunity. All right. Kevin, I think Tyler, remember there. Miguel, again, I saw you in the certification challenge. I need to give a quick shout out. Miguel, see, where are you from? I don't think you responded on that one. Okay. Miguel passed the professional front end certification yesterday or today. He said yesterday. So look at that. We do this certification challenge and we have people passing the test before we even kick this thing off. Like, isn't that great or what? So yeah, that's kudos there. A lot of kudos. India, great. Argentina. Oh, good. Well, I like this one. Here, look, maybe we should all try doing this once in a while. Left in peace by our PM. That would be nice. Nice. Well, not only are you able to produce some new shiny code, but you're also able to hang out in this conversation. So there you go. That's even better. Brazil, Serbia, Mexico, India. Wow, this is great. Turkey. Nice. Nice. We are well represented all over the world. So let's jump in. Let's jump in with what we're going to talk about here today. First off, in our on our certification page, and let me actually pull this up here. I didn't pre-do this, but right here, you come to our certification challenge page. We have a Google Calendar link right here. You click that, and that has a calendar of all of the events here in this. And I'm going to be adding to this once we get our study groups set. Those are all going to be added in there as well. So you're not going to miss anything when it comes to this our events for this certification challenge. In addition, if you want, and hey, why not? I'll just say this right now. I always appreciate a like, and if you want to keep being aware of what's coming out here, click the subscribe on this channel if you're on YouTube. We've recently released, and I'll talk about this here in a second, but we recently put out for free on our YouTube channel. So if you're subscribed, you would have found out about this. A course for the cloud segments of the professional and expert developers. Now, it's not going to be out on there forever, but I'm getting ahead of myself when I say this. But yeah, this is it's a big deal. We've had people being passing the test as a result of this course right now available on YouTube. So I highly recommend you do that. So again, subscribe as well. I'll make sure that you won't miss content like this. And we're about to release a course on merchandising. So it's not for the technical people of you that are watching this video right now, but for the I would say that non-technical. How do you say developers, non-developer? I mean, the word putting non in front of everything kind of has a negative connotation. So developers and business side, I don't know. You have suggestions, tell me. All right, let's jump in here. So the goal here for this certification challenge, and I'm giving you the roadmap, the introduction here. The goal is that we work together to help each other pass this test, whatever test we are set out to do. And we're going to talk about which test here in just a minute. But this is a community. It's a working together effort. The main place for this communication to happen is in our Slack channel. So if you go to SwiftOtter.com/Slack, and I have this in my slides way back down here, but let me just throw it up here. SwiftOtter.com/Slack. This is the official Slack community where all this conversation is going to happen. So make sure that you head over there and join that. SwiftOtter.com/Slack. Join the SwiftOtter or the certification challenge group. We're going to have conversation in there. We're going to keep that rolling in there. You have any type of question, post it there. There's obviously more relevant communities like expert developer and professional developer, etc. But as far as anything related to just overall certification, hey, I need encouragement. Hey, I passed my test. Throw it in there, and you're going to get a whole bunch of pats on the back. So think about that here. That's our goal. Our number one goal is to help each other achieve certification. Whether this is your first certification or your fifth certification, we are going to work together and be just as excited for you if you hit your first or your fifth. This is a group of encouragement. This is a group of challenge. We're going to help you stay on track through this. So make sure to check out get into our certification challenge Slack group. But here's how we're going to do it. It's going to be both as individuals and as a group. we're going to do this through consistent study. I'm going to talk about consistency a little bit today, and then we're going to elaborate on that here as time goes on. But consistent study is the key. Unfortunately, I wish I could say that all companies, all employers would give you time to study on this. That just doesn't always happen. There's a lot of reasons why this doesn't happen. So you're probably going to want to spend some time studying on your own, but you should be able to get some time worked out if you would like to study on the clock as well. But I would suggest that you're going to want to take a mix of both times. Regardless, consistency is the key. No matter what big project happens that is signed next week, that's all hands on deck for the next 3 months, that doesn't matter. You need to make yourself a commitment that's not going to be broken, that starts today, and that lasts through the day you get this certification. It is an investment. It is an investment in your career. It is an investment in your family, because ultimately, those who do not have certifications, and I've talked to quite a few who are very good and are not yet certified. And the point that they bring up is like, why should I get certified? I'm like, certification is a baseline. Is it the best or perfect metric? Absolutely not. It's not. Like, unfortunately, people have cheated on this. None of us are going to cheat on this type of a project, but people have cheated, and yeah, there are occasionally problems with the whole process. But it doesn't mean that certifications are irrelevant or useless. No, what this means is certification is like this baseline. You get a professional developer, you get an expert developer. There's like these baselines. They're like a bar you have to jump over. But at the end of the day, you jump over that and you have proven that you have done that. Otherwise, a interviewer, for example, is left to try to figure out, okay, you say you're a senior developer, but you don't have the certificate. Why didn't you go through take the time of getting the certificate? Like, it's not that hard. It's what, $250 or less to get this certificate. It's not not expensive, etc. Why didn't you just go ahead and do that? And getting the certification, for example, through this challenge allows you to prove that you have jumped over that bar. Even if, let's say, that bar is here and your skill level is like, here we go, way up here. You have jumped over this bar, and of course you have to prove your skill level. This extra distance, but it's a lot easier to prove this distance as opposed to, like no bar at all. And then you're having to say, oh, wow, I'm this much better. So again, it helps take work out of the interview process. And I hope people are honest about it. And the people that I've interacted with are truly good, honest people. I had a conversation with an architect, great story, a couple weeks ago. Basically was this story. He was one of the most, I don't know. He was one of the, maybe talented is the right word. I don't know. Very well dictioned, had a really good head on his shoulders when it came to these concepts. He wasn't certified, so we helped him to get certified. And yeah, getting a job is going to be a lot easier now. And so that's what we're doing. That is the goal here in what we are doing in this process here over the next 2 weeks. It comes down to teamwork. And yes, this is a pretty goofy thing, and I would love to see this in person. But this is teamwork. One's holding the water fountain and the other one's taking the drink. I hope they are going to turn that around for next time so that the small pup can have its own drink. But regardless, it comes down to teamwork. And that's what we're going to be doing here through these next few weeks. So let's look at the schedule. Thursdays through April 13th. So what, about 2.5 months, 3 months, somewhere in there. I listed out the times here. Feel free to screenshot this, and we'll be putting all the times in as well in our follow-up emails. And remember, if you don't sign up, you're not going to get emails. Again, that's just how we work here. So unfortunately, India our friends over there are kind of on the losing end of the stick. Just not aware of a way to make this any better other than, so 8 a.m. Pacific. So you can't expect people to get up or start work on Thursday mornings too much earlier than that. So we'd have to do 2 study group. There's 2 of these, and I'd be interested if there was feedback on that. I would be interested in maybe doing a separate one. So basically, the way this works is the odd weeks, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 weeks are going to be general study and discussion. The off weeks, so the even weeks, are going to be like 2, 4, 6, 8, etc. Those are going to be those are going to be study groups. So individually focused on the content that you're wanting to study. And then this all caps off on June 1 for the award ceremony. So that's like my favorite part of the whole conversation here is when we're able to recognize each individual person who has gotten certified through this. Now, one change from last year to this year is this. This might come as a little bit of a surprise to some of you, is that we are now starting to charge to join our study groups. This is how do I say this? This is different than what we've done in the past study groups. Well, actually, last year was our first year for study groups. They were smashing success, by the way. But they were a little, let me just put it this way. It's frustrating when we have drop off through the study groups. And my thought is if we have a fairly small fee, then we can, how do I say this? We can incentivize people to stick in there. Like, you've bought into this. That's not free. You've paid your money and you want to get your money's value out of this. And thus the study group becomes more successful. Like I said, it was successful last year, but I think by doing this, we're going to make it even more successful. So it's half off it'll be for people in India or other places that are not able to afford it. I'm going to just put a coupon code up there on the page on our website. So you can just go ahead and get it 50% off. I'm going to leave it up to you as an honor system, whether you can afford it or not. But basically $50 or $99, that is up to you to join these study groups. So at this point, we're going to have 3 study groups. I'm open to changing that up. We're going to have a developer one. We're going to have a business practitioner one, and we're going to have a front-end developer one. So again, trying to capture those 3 groups. And again, it's $99 or $49.50, whatever it is going to end up being, if you want to join those. Again, I want buy-in. I want people who are committed, who are dead set on achieving this certification themselves and putting some of their own skin in the game. We're putting a lot of skin in the game on our side, and I want you guys to match that if you want to join the study group. So again, a little bit different than we did last year. And I understand it's a bit of a change, but I believe this is going to be a good change to join these study groups. It's kind of like live instruction, but let me tell you about what a study group is. And this is what we found very successful. So we have a instructor who is certified, who leads the group. And I say instructor is probably not the best term. The goal is that this is a group of where we ask a list of questions and we go around the room. This is what I do as well. And I lead the business practitioner study group. We go around the room and say, hey, XYZ, Mohammed, what is the answer to this question? If you don't have the answer, no problem, no judgment whatsoever. Fabio, do you have the answer to this question? Ben, we walk around the room and eventually we say we get like 3 or 4 people. If nobody has the answer, then we go find the answer together. So I pull it up on the screen. We walk through the process to getting this answer. That's what we do in the study groups because it's experiential, it's practical, and it's educational. And so it's not just coming to a class where the instructor just says, hey, here's what you need to do, and here's the information. No, it's teamwork. It's working together. And we found it very successful last year. Questions are not easy, but they're really, really good. And so we're going to be sending out those questions to those of you that sign up beforehand so you can come prepared for answers as well. So make sure to sign up, and I'll be sending out information very shortly after this for the study groups. But you're not going to get it if we might send one email to the full list, but you're not going to get it if you haven't signed up for the certification challenge. So signing up, putting your email address in for the certification challenge is like that entry point. And then the second point, the gold tier, if you will. Hey, look, I chose gold for that color back there on that slide, right? Why not? So that is that gold tier is these study groups. So again, I'm going to leave it up to you whether you do the half off or the other one. I want buy-in. That's why we're doing this. So let's talk about quickly. I say quickly. Why do I need to talk quickly? Let's talk about the keys to success. A couple of them that are very, very important here. Number one is we want to attempt the right test. You see, say if you're in the military and you are tasked with a mission and you're not given the right equipment or the right people, the right training to be able to pull off this mission, it's going to end in failure. And you're not going to, well, you're not going to be successful no matter how you cut it. If you don't have the equipment, the right number of people, the right train, you're just not going to be able to complete this mission. And in the same way, if we have a goal set that's at the wrong destination, we're not going to be successful. What if we truly assessed ourselves? What if we're really at the professional level test, but we're planning to take the expert level test? Well, there's two ways to do this. We back down and we take the professional level test, which is really where our skill set is, or we work to upskill and get to the expert level place, knowing that we might fail at a time or two to get there, which, as long as that's acceptable, that's fine. Upskill, get that harder certificate. That's great. But you need to have that. You need to have a proper assessment of yourself, your capabilities, and then take the test that's in line with where you think you can be. Quick question here from Carlos. Let me go ahead and answer that, and we will continue our conversation. Will these questions be available out of the study groups? Nope. Unfortunately, that's part of the value of the study group is those questions. And so, yeah, that's what we're working just to include those on the study groups. Because again, while the questions would be helpful to everyone, it's also the participation of all the answers that you get that are helpful. And to be frank, that's one of the things I love about our Prove Your Expert status questions we put out on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook every week. You're able to vet yourself, if you will. You're able to learn and to get other opinions. So if you go back to those, it's one thing to put your answer there, which is fantastic. Put your answer there, but then you can go back through and read everybody else's answer, and then come back the next day and check it against my answer. You get a whole bunch of opinions, and that just does nothing but round out your knowledge and your skill level as a developer. So anyways, hey, Abid, good to see you here. All right, so we're talking about attempting the right test. So here is the inventory of the tests that are currently available. We have developer, business practitioner, and front end on the professional level. These are, again, fairly easy. We have a course for developer, and now developer includes cloud. We'll be talking about that more as time goes on. Business practitioner, we're going to have a study group that covers business practitioner, study group that covers developer, and a study group for front end. I would, again, if you have not taken a test yet, here's a suggestion. Consider just going for the professional developer test. Study for a week or two. Go for the professional developer test. Take the practice test, etc. See how you do. If you do great, go ahead and pass the test. Now, then see your score on that test. If you get, I don't know, say 80s, perhaps into the 90s, you might be just ready to go sit for that expert test tomorrow. Again, give it a few more weeks and go sit for that expert level test. You might pass it a little bit easier than you know. So use the professional level as kind of like this stepping stone to get to the expert level. If nothing else, it gives you 2 certifications. That doesn't look bad on your LinkedIn profile. 2 is always better than 1, right? So just start with professional and work up to expert. If nothing else, that guarantees you're going to have a pass for this certification challenge. And I think I forgot to include in my slide deck that we're sending out shirts. So yeah, this will be a big boost there. Augustin, is there any front-end professional exam test from SwiftOtter yet? No, not at this point. So we have, and I'll be talking about that here a little bit later, but I'll just say this now. We have limited resources, and so we've been working to identify which resources are best or where we spend them best. And so our current immediate focus is to put out a course for just completely onboarding into Magento development that hopefully should be out by the end of March, early April. That said, we are still definitely considering we're working towards that. And it's just kind of a day-by-day decision as far as whether we do that. And the biggest reason why I have not done a practice test for front-end developer, professional front-end developer, is because we have one for expert. So what you can do is go through expert, see how you do on that, brush up on what you see your failings are in expert, and use that as a barometric meter for front end. So they're similar enough that it's like, um, is it really necessary to build out a second test? So we would love to do that. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, the expert test will serve as a very good barometric reader for you this whether or not you're ready to pass the professional test. All right, moving into expert, we have business practitioner, developer, and front end. Back end, it's kind of back end developer, but they call it developer with cloud add-on. So yeah, it's not a expert developer with front cloud add-on, something like that. So yeah, it really should be just back-end developer. That's ultimately what it is. And then we have master architect, the crown jewel of the whole lineup here. This one, we are very happy to see that Adobe has reduced the passing score down to, I think it's 54, 56%. It used to be 84%. And I was not aware of a single person passing the test. We even tried to pass the test and we couldn't pass the test. So, I mean, I like to think of us as being pretty skilled on Adobe Commerce, and if we couldn't pass the test, it's like, yeah, why even try? And ultimately, that's our approach to Master Architect has been to break it up into multiple chunks. So we put out the course on GraphQL, and we're working towards a course on testing, so integration testing, unit testing, MFTF, etc. Thank you. Abid said 58%. Yeah, I knew it was in the 50s. So Master Architect is kind of a beast, and it actually, I would say, makes it even more challenging considering you look at those 3 objectives, and it doesn't say really anything. Those objectives don't. So it's not like you have commerce features. Like the old test had commerce features, and you knew that you needed to study up on recommended products or recommended product rules and loyalty program, etc. Staging, those sort of things. This new one is basically just like no Adobe Commerce. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, Chris, you put that in there. Yeah, no Adobe Commerce, know it well. And that makes it really difficult to parse it out. So like, is the study guide supposed to be like everything there is to know about Adobe Commerce? There's nothing concrete to actually help people study for, which makes it all the more difficult to study on. So I'm not complaining there, just to be really clear. It's just we've met a challenge that is somewhat feels like insurmountable. So now that the test score has been dropped to 58%, we are in a much better place to be able to start helping people. Before it just wasn't worth time investment to help out in this department, unfortunately. And I hate putting in those terms, but that's really what it ended up being. In addition, everyone received news a couple months ago about the expert and professional developer test. I think that was December? Was that somewhere in there? December? The professional and expert developer test now including cloud questions on it. So the number of questions on those exams went up to in the 70s, I think. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there who have no knowledge of cloud. In my opinion, just saying it here, cloud is a very different animal than backend development. I'm sure there are some developers who work with both, but cloud is more DevOps. That's more the delivery team. Those of us who are writing modules, customizing, fixing bugs, etc., we don't touch that too often. Again, there are some people that do both, but on the professional and the expert developer test, it just didn't really make sense to me to have that put in both. But regardless, I'm not Adobe, and that was the decision they made. And I understand that they want to drive adoption of cloud. And one way to drive adoption of cloud is by requiring or encouraging your development teams to be comfortable on cloud, so that when they're comfortable, and to be frank, it has some cool features. It has a really good CI/CD system. If you're comfortable with it, then you're going to be more likely to sell it. I understand the logic. So, in line with this, we took about several months of work on our side to build out this cloud course. Chris Nanninga is in there. I wish you could join this live stream, man. That'd be great. He's absolutely brilliant. I love working with the guy. So bright, so thorough in his approach to this kind of stuff. And he has he built out this cloud course. He's done cloud projects in the past. I mean, let me just put it this way. He has, I think it's over 10 years of agency experience. He's worked on some really high profile websites at a number of different agencies. He knows what he's talking about. It's one thing to, be trained by somebody who's almost never touched a large scale deployment in their life. It's another thing to be taught by somebody who's done plenty of them. And that's who wrote this cloud course, Chris Nanninga. So I couldn't be more thrilled to have him on the team to be building out this type of material. So great work. And it's available free on YouTube and on our website until February 15th. So check it out. Cannot miss this type of deal. So ultimately, if you're preparing for professional or expert, my advice is to go do that studying now. Study for the cloud section of it before February 15th, and then do the other sections after that. Take notes, etc. Try to get yourself as familiar as possible, and you'll easily pass the test. I've heard plenty of people saying that, yeah, it was well enough to prepare them to pass the test. So do that, and you will be quite happy. Again, I say this, it doesn't profit me. I should just be quiet about this about February 15th, and afterwards, oh, it's no longer free. You have to pay for it, $99. Again, not much, but that's not how I work. I want to see the community succeed. So here's the thing. Our study process that we're going through here, it's worth 10 times the end value of the certification itself. You are going to become an expert at all these different subjects. And that time investment is going to be worth, again, 10 times the actual final certification paper you get. Now, without the certification paperwork, to others, they don't see that 10 times value. You know it intrinsically. You know it as you're talking to your coworkers and you have these conversations. You're able to help them solve problems, architect projects correctly, or to write code yourself in a well-done manner. But it's this external viewpoint of your career, your skill set, that validates this 10x that you have internally. So certification is still very valuable. This is what I tell people to do. All right, so how do we study? Again, kicking this off, let's talk about this. There is the Commerce Documentation, Adobe Experience League, user guide for Magento. All of those are important. The Adobe certification website has a link to, has an outline. Again, I'll be really blunt, Master Architect, it's kind of worthless, that outline, unfortunately. And I know John's on here, so I'm not saying this about John. He helped write some of the questions. I know the questions are well written, really good questions, but it's that outline. It kind of makes it a little bit vague. Maybe that was intentional, which is fine. But there is call it a study guide on Adobe's website that tells you, it's more like the outline or the syllabus of this test. That said, our study guides that we have out, they are all 100% up to date. And we also have the courses. So professional developer, expert developer, business practitioner. We have the cloud course, and we have GraphQL. All of these are designed to help you pass. And one big goal with all of our this material is practical experience. I highly recommend these courses. And yes, I know we make money off these courses, but we've made a lot of investment in building them out. And that investment, the goal of these courses is to help do two things. First, shorten the learning time for you. Now, you might look and say, oh, wow, there's 10 hours of videos. That's a lot. Some of them, yes, have quite a little video in them. But the key point here is you would probably be spending more time than that to learn all of these concepts in that same amount of detail. You're going to have a lot more trial and error, and you're probably going to miss things as well. Besides, when you get to the end of the day, you have a little bit higher or a lot higher chance of failing the test. That's kind of hard to prove, that statement, but the quality of the training we give you through these courses. The other thing is, and I don't have it here in my notes, but we give you a badge. So if you go through our training, pass the test, reach back out to us, we will give you a badge saying you are SwiftOtter trained, which this means that here's the bar, we have trained you to this point and we recognize you at this point. So go show it off on your LinkedIn page. Asan asked a great question. What is the difference in content will there be between the professional course and the study groups? Great question. So the study group is a very different style. So the professional course is, here is this project let's work through this project. And oh, by the way, we're going to talk about these different concepts. What's a model? What's a resource model? Like, how do these all work together? How do you build them out? Professional, the study group, though, this is going to come back to questions about answering questions. So, and we're going to be talking about different problems or scenarios, that sort of thing. So, in my opinion, they're very complementary. We're not like going from A to Z through on the professional course. We're taking the syllabus of the test, and we're going through the different points of that, asking questions that help ensure that we have a good understanding of that point. So, professional course is structured to get a body of knowledge like A to Z. The study group is more inquisitive. It's like let's answer this question. What is the best way to tackle this scenario, etc. So that is a great question. That is the difference. Let me just put this up here for categorization here. So professional course ties in very nicely with the study group because study group is inquisitive. Professional course is basically linear. So working together on this one. All right. Finally, wanted to quickly call out the Slack channel. This is, again, where you can feel free to ask questions. So our study groups will have a Slack channel that you can ask questions in, and we will give you answers there as well. I'm going a little bit longer than I thought I was going to go today. Thanks for sticking with me. So be consistent. This is the number one, absolutely, incredibly, most important, what other adjectives can I put out here? Key to being successful. Outside of anything else you can possibly do. You've probably heard the story of the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise being the turtle. I guess we call some of them, tortoise, the hare. We don't call, at least here in the States, we don't call them rabbits. But I guess, I don't know, jackrabbit. Maybe we do call them hares. I don't know. Not like one of these hares. I got a few. They're disappearing, by the way. You'll see me in 5 years have quite a few less. Anyways, consistency wins. You can keep pushing at a slow pace, and that's what matters. Look at it this way. Commit today to spending a repeatable amount of time. So whether that's 15 minutes a day, whatever, whether that's 30 minutes a day, whatever, pick a number that you can stick with. And if you want to exceed that, fantastic. But don't go less than that. And when I say a day, meaning like work days, or pick like, say you're going to do this 4 days a week. What I don't want you to do is say, okay, Saturday is my study day. I'm going to take 2 hours every Saturday and study. In my experience, this studying, well, first, it's likely not to happen. Saturdays are kind of, at least here for people in the States, it's kind of a volatile day. We kind of forget about, we have plans on Saturday, or it's a beautiful day and we want to go enjoy some nature or something. I don't know. It's just, Saturdays are our volatile day, or Sunday. Okay, whatever. Like, and here's the other issue though, is when we study on a weekly basis, I feel like it's like we gain a whole bunch of knowledge and then it drops off. And so maybe throughout the week we retain 50% of it. I don't know. For me, it seems like 25% I only retain. Maybe for all of you, it's 75%, and I would be happy about that. But either way, we have knowledge loss. Versus if we go to 15 minutes a day, like the progress is slower, but it's consistent. And it's consistent and keeps sticking in our head. And it keeps sticking in our head. And if we want to do it a 2-hour sprint or marathon at some point, great. But it's this slow build, 15 minutes a day, I have found makes it much more successful. Now, again, here's the point. Do it in the morning. Don't do it at the end of the day. If you do it at the end of the day, you're going to have a deployment that had a misfire. You're going to have a bug that you're troubleshooting, or somebody's upset somewhere, and you're not going to, it's like, oh, wow, I'm not going to be able to study today. Well, that's a problem. You have to study today. And when you miss a day, the next day missing it is even easier. Missing it the following day is even easier. Make that time untouchable. Nothing is going to stop you from getting that time. One other quick warning label I want to talk about here. So consistency is the number one thing to your success. My friends, if you are consistent today, you will be successful tomorrow. I think I said consistent today, successful tomorrow. Thus, here is one other point I want you to remember as you're studying. Digging into this, starting today, starting tomorrow. What if you say, I don't feel like studying this? I feel like I already know this. Or even worse, this seems really difficult. I don't think I'm going to tackle this. Welcome. If I was to have somebody, I could have somebody join me here. Welcome, Cloud. Like a little picture of a cloud right here. Yeah, I don't feel like studying this. There you go. Cloud would be a great example there. Doesn't mean you don't study. It means you have to study it. It means you have to turn every single rock, every stone over. You are looking for bits of gold treasure. Yeah, you might know where most of the treasure is here in this map, but there might be that nugget that's like 4 or 5 ounces that's sitting under a rock here in this 1 acre field. That's, I don't know how big an acre would be. Uh, hmm. In metric terms. Look it up, I guess. In this 1 acre field, and you're looking for this 5 ounce nugget of gold. Turn over every single rock. You have to do it. And that's what it is. It's like studying for these exams. Become a master at everything and then go pass your test. You'll pass it. I guarantee it. Like, I see passing all the time. What I see the failure happening is because of lack of consistency. Here's what happens. You get a good weekend, then you have a big project coming in. Someone's jumping on your desk saying, "Hey, we got to get this project done tomorrow." And you're like, "Okay, well, how can I? Oh, 15 minutes here. I can skip this 15 minutes." Well, that 15 minutes stops happening. And then if your manager is involved in this, they're going to say, "Well, you need to get certified." And here's the deadline. Deadline is next week. You're like, oh, gee, we got a problem here. How are we going to do this? Like, I haven't been studying. You have to study. You have to get this test passed next Friday. Like, I don't have enough time to do that. You have to. You know how this works. You're like, okay, I'll go take it. I don't think I'm going to. You have to pass it too. You go take the test and you fail it. Why'd you fail it? Well, boss, you didn't give me time to study. Well, yeah, that's true. Now, certainly you could have taken some time yourself, and I will say that, but that's how it goes. That's 100% how this goes. And if we can head this off now, you make this commitment now, and ideally you spend 15 minutes of your time every day and ultimately ask for 15 minutes of their time every day. Now, that's a win-win situation. You'll get certified. You will get certified. If I had my wallet down here, I'd put some money on it. You're going to get certified. That's what it takes, being consistent. So enough of my talking about this and idiotic demonstrations here. But yeah, so make sure to go over to swiftotter.com/2023 certification challenge. I'm going to get some tweaks made to that page here shortly to allow you to join the study groups. And we've already had some people join, which is great. I'm excited about that. But I want to get these study groups going. And those of you that are part of study groups, you're going to get access to these questions. Obviously, access to these study groups as well. Again, starting next week and then every other week after that. Are there any final questions to this conversation? Any final questions? Great interaction here. I certainly appreciate you all coming on here. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you here next week and the weeks following that here until we get smack dab into the middle of springtime here in the United States. One of my favorite season of the year is spring. I love it. Any final questions? Otherwise, we're going to call it a wrap for today. Again, thank you for joining the certification challenge. If you haven't already, here's the link behind me. Make sure you just jump over that. Carlos, yeah. Where do you start? So go to this URL here. There is a sign up form on there, and I will be directly emailing those people who are on this sign up form there. So this is how you join. This is how you get in. Of course, we're not hiding this link as of today, but you are more than welcome to get in and join this. So yeah, look forward to seeing you all. Thank you for your participation today, and we're going to be successful as a group here together.